While playing through Deltarune Chapter 3, I've come to an interesting realization. Despite Chapter 4 being all about the prophecy and the future of the game, I believe that Chapter 3 may tell us more about that than we may have first realized. Before I begin, this theory is based around the idea that Chapter 3 parallels the entire of Deltarune as a whole. I'll put a link to a good video on that theory in the description, and of course, spoilers for the whole of Deltarune. But I suspect if you clicked on this video, you're all caught up. Anyways, let's get on with the theory. In Deltarune Chapter 3, many events that occur parallel events in the main game. For example, the host gets you to name your character and connects you to the game world, where you will spend most of your time. A secret route can also be accessed later in the game, that involves freezing enemies. There are quite a few more connections, but what I wanted to focus on today is Tenna's second board, the Tropical Paradise. I'm under the impression that this board reflects the events of Chapters 4 and 5. In Chapter 4, the Fun Gang are surrounded by prophecies which tell them about the future of the game. Meanwhile, in the second stage of TV time, the player is prompted to take pictures of interesting sights around the game. While at first these may seem unrelated, they have more connections than might first be realised. The first picture is described by Pippins as a flower torn in half. Now that Chapter 5 is out as of time of recording, we can say this is clearly foreshadowing to Flowey's encounter with the knight. You might be thinking, but there are 3 chapters left and 4 photos to take, and if there is a photo per chapter, how does this line up? Are there more than 7 chapters? Well, I've come to the conclusion that the first photo links to Chapter 5, the second photo links to Chapter 6, the third to Chapter 7 Side B, and the fourth to the main Chapter 7. Photos are usually kept behind glass to preserve them into the future. This is similar to the prophecies in Chapter 4 that appear to be made entirely from glass that display an image. This is a clear link between these concepts in the 2 chapters. If we assume that photos reflect the prophecy, we can use this to help us determine the future of the game. The next photo is described as a green geyser just next door. A geyser is similar to a fountain as they are both water that shoots upwards, and green? Is Gaster going to make the dark fountain in Chapter 6? Jokes aside, I believe that this may refer to Noelle, as the description quotes our theme, Girl Next Door. This would line up with what people have theorised that Noelle will create the dark fountain in Chapter 6 in order to save Rudy, in the way that Susie brought back Gerson. The clue for photo 3 says, "The plant of spikes hides in the forest. It's no rose, but its thorns hold love." The reference to the thorn and rose are directly associated with Noelle and the Weird Route, which is why I think that this is about Chapter 7 Side B. Other than that, I'm not so sure what this could be telling us about the future, but I did notice that the forest seems to be a sort of out-of-bounds place, maybe showing how Chris and Noelle are outside of the bounds of the game now. However, what I believe is the most interesting connection lies in the last photo, the red antlion under the ground, fangs of youth unearthed with a photo. Red antlion. What is an antlion? It is an insect that in its larval phase has a large head and 2 sharp fangs. Wait a second. The DT extractor from the Undertale True Lab is red, resembles the head of an antlion in its youth, and lies deep underground. This is certainly a very interesting connection, and it did stump me at first, but now I think I have a satisfying conclusion. The DT extractor is found in the Tree Lab area of Undertale and was assumedly created by Gaster for experiments. It is common belief that DT stands for determination, but what if it stands for Deltarune? I don't know what the reason for a Deltarune extractor would be, but assuming it takes things from Deltarune and puts them into Undertale, many things begin to click into place. Things are only supposed to be taken out of the machine as it's an extractor, but a Gaster follower says that he fell into his creation. What if this transported Gaster into the world of Deltarune, where he was stuck? He needed a way to get out, so worked with the red soul found in the True Lab to get him out by banishing him. As the prophecy states, the angel banished will finally meet with its desire. Gaster wants to be banished to finally meet with his desire to return to the world of Undertale, and is using the player to do so. And that is why I believe Gaster is the angel. Except, I do realise that there are many holes with this theory. Gaster seems to be in control a lot, and there are many other fitting candidates to be the angel. I do hope you enjoyed this small theory of mine. If you did, don't bother subscribing. I don't make much Deltarune content, and I rarely upload since I'm out of ideas on what to do on YouTube really. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. And that is now the end of the video, so yeah, goodbye.